Good evening, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here with you and celebrate the beginning of fall. That was Thursday in the wee hours of the morning, our fall equinox. So this is perfect timing for our September Psychic Hour. I want to welcome everyone, and I want to thank you all for being here with me this evening. We've got a lot to be thankful for, and we'll be talking about that as I do your readings in just a few moments. Meanwhile, though, let me take a couple of minutes as we get started with the hour just to do a little bit of, I call it my housekeeping, the announcements of things that are coming up. And I'm sure we're going to be joined by a lot more people because we've got a ton of people who have signed up in the last half hour before this class. So I think we're going to be crowded tonight, and I do hope everybody is able to get on. Folks, again, welcome. And you know, of course, I'm Sandy Anastasi, and this is my Psychic Hour for September of 2022. Folks, you can find out more about me and the work I do always on www.sandyanastasi.com. If you want to sign up for a regular reading with me, I still do them, or coaching, I also do that. My guides help me with that coaching as well. And also tons of classes in just about every area of metaphysics, the books I've written and so forth. It's all available on my website. You'll see that right over here where my cursor is, so you can copy that down. And I think most of you actually went to the website to sign up for this evening, so you know how to get on there. I also have an app, and I've been encouraging people to download the app and work with it. You can attend this psychic hour right on the app. I like it because just in case the weird things happen with the internet or the website, you're still going to be able to use the app. So it's a really good idea to have that as a backup, even if you prefer to join me on the web. Also, I want you to remember that we now have an open forum, an open community on our website. If you click onto the main page and you look at the tabs up on top, you'll see once you sign up for my newsletter, you automatically will be invited to something called Library. So when you open that main page after you're signed up for the newsletter, if you click on where it says Library, that's going to immediately take you to the open community. And if you click on that open community, you're going to be able all month long to talk to other people of like mind in a very safe, very protected atmosphere where you will be welcomed. And a lot of times, you know, other people who are on that forum with you will be able to answer your questions or share your commiserations. It's just a really great place for people who are interested in the psychic world to be able to exchange thoughts and ideas safely without any kind of discrimination. And of course, Lisa and I see everything that goes on in that community. So, and we often comment. So it is a good way of connecting with us during the month as well. But honestly, it's a safe place. And between us, me and Lisa make sure that it is. So I know the internet has a lot of problems these days. You can avoid them entirely by participating in our open community, which is why I really am so grateful that we created it about a year ago. It's been up. And I see a lot of you posting in it and sharing your stories. It's a great thing to be able to take advantage of. VIP members, okay, because I'm having my VIP membership drive. Folks, I'm going to encourage everybody who's here tonight, if you're not already a member of my VIP, please join it. Each month between now and the end of the year, when you join my VIP membership, I'm going to be giving you a little gift for joining if you prepay for your year. It's just an absolutely amazing community. And in that community, not only do you get to meet with me once a month like we do here in the Psychic Hour, you get a special reduction for a reading during your birthday month. You also get various and sundry reductions in prices of things throughout the year. So there are little bonuses, but you also, maybe most important of all, get probably the most comprehensive, fully downloadable audio library in any place on the internet. that covers just about every area of metaphysics. So if you want to study astrology or tarot or Kabbalah, it's all there. It's just absolutely amazing. You can just download it onto your computer or study it in your library, because you'll have that automatic library that's a part of the website that we use. So it's a great thing to be a member of. I'll talk about it more in a minute. But if you are interested in studying anything, it's probably the best deal anywhere on the internet if you want to learn about anything in the field of metaphysics. My What's Coming in 2023 webinar is now open. I'm going to be doing that webinar coming up in December, and it is open for registration now on my website. Folks, if you're interested in that, it's only $25. It usually lasts anywhere from an hour and a half to 3 hours, depending on how many questions I have. My guides come through and they give you insight on what's coming for the next year. In this case, it'll be 2023, and it will fill up. So if you want to be assured of your space, it's a good idea to register early for that. It's going to be in December. So I think I have the date written down somewhere. Lisa may be able to put it into the chat room. I think it's December 8th. It's early in December. But I strongly advise, if you want to know what's coming up, sign up for it. And also, if you missed any of my web classes, I have an Intro to Spirit Communication and an I'm Not Psychic or Am I class. Those are still available on my website for $25. And the special that is what's happening in 2022, that was this year that we're in, the special. My guides did an absolutely amazing job predicting nearly everything that's happened all year long. And if you want to take a look back at the year and catch the next 2 months, you might want to just pick that up as well. So these things are still available on my website. VIPs, your next coaching call, just a reminder, is October 13th of 22. And our next psychic hour, folks, please make a note of this. It's October 23rd of 22. And finally, I'm going to take just a minute to go over my specials. We still have, we're September 25th tonight. We still have, a week left of this month, just about. So there are September specials still available. My reading special for September was all about conquering your deepest fears. Folks, we all have fears. Some of them are very deep-seated. Right now, I'm finding among my clientele that we're living in difficult times, and many, many people are having all kinds of things come up from inside of them. It could be anything from fears about your children, about your health, about your finances, about your marriage. The fears just, they come upon us from almost out of nowhere. And yet we can find them, my guides and I, in your chart, both your transiting chart and your basic astrological natal chart. And we can tell you what the root of them are, and we can help you to work through them so that they no longer are something which will ever be a problem for you or jeopardize your world again. And so if you're one of those people, and there are many, many people out there right now who are being visited by these fears because of our world being such a stressful place right now, so these kinds of fears, it's not unusual for them to be coming up. If you are one of those people who is suffering, because that's what it really can feel like, with that kind of a situation, it's a good idea to schedule that reading with me and my guides as soon as possible and get through those fears, okay? So that was my first September special, and my second September special was my VIP drive, which started in September and will go all through the fall. And my giveaway for the membership drive, if you should join it during this month, join the VIP, is the Meet Your Higher Self MP4 video download. Again, it gets downloaded to your library where you can have it forever and watch it. It's your gift when you pay your yearly membership, okay? And that is a renewable, I often want to remind people about that. It's a renewable membership. Now you can drop your membership at any time, and you can decide at the end of the year you don't want to renew it, okay? And if you do that, that's fine. But you do have to remember it is automatically renewable. So if you don't let us know, it's going to get renewed. I always like to tell that to people because some people get surprised by that. And it does say it on the site, but not everybody always reads that fine print. Okay. This is a great gift that I'm giving you, the Meet Your Higher Self MP4. It's about an hour and a half long, and it does contain a guided visualization to meet your guides, and it explains what your higher self is. Actually, it's meeting your higher self, not your guides, but your guides will come through your higher self, and it explains what your higher self is and how it fits into the grand scheme of things relative to you. So it's a little bit of a class as well. Very, very good class for you to add to your repertoire of knowledge. Now, in October, I also have a reading, actually I've got several reading specials, but the first one is Vampires in Your Life. You can order that reading anytime from October 1st to 31st, but you've got to complete it within a year from October 31st, okay? Same thing with the Conquering Your Deepest Fears. You can buy it anytime during September, but you've got to complete that reading within a year of September 30th, okay? Back to the Vampires in Your Life. It pretty much speaks for itself. We all have people, situations in our life, addictions sometimes, things in our world that absorb our energy. And in that reading, Vampires in Your Life, my guides and I are going to help you to really figure out what are those things that are stealing your energy. And once you understand what they are, we're going to help you to find out using your astrology chart and tarot cards how you can stop that energy drain once and for all. So we're going to help you to identify it, we're going to help you to stop it, or sometimes just reroute it so it's no longer having any major effect on you. And I have a giveaway. When you purchase that reading, you're going to get my Dark Forces MP4. And that, again, it's a downloadable, it's in your library video class that's about an hour and a half long that talks about everything both on the physical plane and on the next plane up, the astral plane, that could exert negative impact on you and how to deal with those things. So we really get down and look at the reality of what's on the other side that could have a negative effect on you in that class. Now, both these two classes, the Dark Forces class and the Higher Self class, those are part of my Evolution of Consciousness series that's available on my website for oh, I can't remember the amount of money, but it's a couple of $100s. It's not a cheap class. And these classes, these individual workshops, are not available individually. The only way to get them, unless you get them as a bonus or buy them during these months when I'm offering the special, you can't get them unless you buy that whole program, the Evolution of Consciousness series. Now, if you are just getting this MP4 and you want to buy it as a separate thing, right now, because it's available, contact Lisa. She'll find out if you can get it just for these months that it's available, if you want to just buy the MP4 but not get the reading. And I'm not even sure what the price on that would be. We'd have to figure it out. But because we've pulled it out, it would be available just for those 2 months. We've made it available separately from that series, okay? Now, the second reading I have for the October is the After Death Astrology reading. And this is a 2-session consultation. I've been doing this for many years. My guides and I actually work with 5 different charts: your chart, the deceased person's chart, birth chart, their chart for the moment they passed, which will also show us their moment of birth into the next life. From all that material, we can find out what happened at the time of their death, what they were going through, what they felt. We can talk about where they are right now on the other side, how their death has affected you and other people in your friends or family circle. It's very, very comprehensive, and I highly recommend it for people who are needing some sort of closure after somebody has passed, or perhaps are trying to figure out how is the best way that they can connect with their loved one themselves directly after that loved one has passed. It takes 2 sessions to do. It's normally a $650 reading. I'm giving it to you. I'm selling it to you, offering it to you for $100 off. This is a huge discount. So if this is something you think you want, or you know somebody who wants it, this is the best time of year during October to order. Remember, you can purchase it now for yourself or a loved one. It just needs to be used before October 31st of 2023. The VIP membership drive, again, it's the same drive as I had in September, but this time I'm offering a different gift when you join. It's the Psychic Protection Tips course that drips out to you a psychic protection tip every week for about a year. Okay, so it's a nice, interesting, fun class to practice and learn from. If you are already a VIP and you already have joined, you can still get the tips class if you recommend the class to someone else, because then they're going to get that tips class and so will you. And if you don't want to offer it to somebody else, you don't have a friend who wants to join, but you still want that class, you can purchase that separately. Talk to Lisa about it. There's a discount on it for you because you're a VIP. Okay, and I also wanted to announce for those of you who are interested in taking psychic development with me next year in 2023, you're going to see on my website that enrollment is now open. That class will begin the last Wednesday in January. Enrollment's open now. It will fill up. And guess what? If you do your enrolling now, if you know you're interested, do it early, because there is an early bird special that's offering you almost $1,000 off, which is huge, huge discount. Let me see if I can locate the pricing in here. Yeah, the price is $3,000 on that class. And if you purchase it now, it's only $2,225. That's a huge, huge discount for the early bird. There's just no other way to get that discount except to do it early in the fall. So I'll be advertising for the next couple of months, but it's the best time to do it is now. And the reason for that is that I'm also offering a special payment plan right now where you can pay part of 1/3 in October, 1/3 in November, 1/3 in December. And it really makes paying for the program in its entirety so much easier. Plus you get that beautiful discount and you get all the bonuses that I give out during the actual open, which happens in January. And I'll be advertising it all through January. It starts the last Wednesday in January. Okay, I'm done with all my announcements. Sorry I had so many announcements to make this month, but there is a lot going on, obviously, both in the world and also in the world of Sandy Anastasi. So thank you for bearing with me. Lisa, we're ready for our callers, and we have some rules here as you ask for questions of me. When Lisa calls, raise your hand first of all. She'll call on people who've got their hands raised or who have written their question in the chat room. And when she calls on you, I'd like your first name only, because this will be published on YouTube, so we don't want people to know who you are unless you want them to know. So your first name, the state that you're from or the country you're from, what you're most grateful for at this time in your life right now, and your sun sign. And armed with that information, I'm already going to be able to give you a lot of information, and then we want your specific question. And just for the record, anyone who stays with me until the end of this hour, I'm going to give you the opportunity to email me your simple question, and I need all those bits of data, you know, your name, where you're from, what you're grateful for, your birth date or your sun sign, and your simple question. So the same data if you email me. You can email me either on the email attached to this program, or you can email lisasa.inc@aol.com. I'll get that question either way. Lisa, who's our first caller? Who's our first victim for this evening?
All righty, we're going to start close to the top of the list tonight. We're going to call on Deb. Deb, can you unmute yourself?
Hello.
Hello, Deb. I hear you loud and clear.
Hi. I'm from the California mountains. I'm grateful for finding joy in the middle of chaos, I guess. And I'm a Gemini. My
Okay.
question is,
Hold on. I want you to stop right there and we'll come back to your question in a moment. Okay, here's where you're at as a Gemini. Okay, Gemini appears in the second house in this horary chart. This is your chart for tonight that answers all of our questions. Okay, and incidentally, I want to say I'm applauding you for being in the California mountains and finding joy at this time. And I'm grateful you and your family are whole and healthy. That's wonderful. So here you are in that second house, which talks about your biggest concerns. If you are a Gemini, a Virgo, a Pisces, or a Sagittarius, what I'm talking about right now is going to concern you. Okay? You're concerned about your money, about your finances, about your income, about where finances are going to come from. You may very well be splitting yourself in too many different directions right now. As a matter of fact, it may be that you're feeling a little bit overburdened and overstressed and figuring, okay, if I do this, this is going to happen. If I do this, this is going to happen. Now, this is also part of a T-square. This Mars here in Gemini. Could you mute your mic just for a moment so we don't get that feedback? Sometimes we get feedback when the mics are open at the same time. Okay, here's Mars, and it's squaring Neptune, okay, which means that one of the problems you're having right now relative to the whole financial thing is you can't see the entirety of what's going on. The world is a confusing place right now. Nobody knows what's exactly going on. It's crazy. But this does talk about your spiritual gifts, and particularly the friends and the groups that you belong to that have a very spiritual and uplifting feeling, being able to give you a lot of support right now, and perhaps also helping you monetarily or helping you to choose the direction you want to go with the career path that you're planning. You probably are going to end up in two different career paths at the same time. If you aren't already, I wouldn't be a bit surprised if you didn't have two things going on coincidentally with each other, and that one of them will be very creative and joyous, the other will be more of a work, put your nose to the grindstone thing, but it will help to pay the bills. I also see a square here into Venus and Mercury, okay, which talks about whatever it is you want to do. You may still have to keep the day job that you really wish you could get rid of for a while, but that day job, quote unquote, is going to be the thing that helps to pay the bills. I see also concern here about health issues that could be concerning a female figure, your relationship partner, or children. Okay, and by the way, I should include animals in there because many of us, if you're like me, your pets are your children. So if you're a mutable sign, you've got all these things going on right now. It's a little hard to keep your focus on any one specific thing because you're being pulled over here to put out this fire, pulled over here to put out this fire. And meanwhile, you're focusing on your own development and your own future in terms of what you want to build and you want to create. And sometimes that can be a little bit difficult to keep a handle on all those things at once. So responsibility is major in your life right now. This is called a T-square, what's going on here. And the outlet point is up here in the 8th house, which talks about legal matters, relocating because Sagittarius is on the cusp, maybe relocating your job or where you're keeping your finances or your home. It also talks about other people's or other agencies' money and finances being in some way helpful, that everything that's going on right now is leading to a brand new solution for how you're handling and dealing with and accepting financial support. Okay, go ahead and unmute. Tell me, how am I doing, first of all?
Oh my goodness. Yeah, so accurate. I retired last year, but I went into a different career, working in yards, and then I do a lot of crafts and jewelry and things. So yeah, but mainly we wanted to get out of debt and separate from our son who lives on the property who has some mental health issues. So we put the house up for sale, but there's been all kinds of roadblocks because of what he's doing, trying to sell the house. We're trying to move back Midwest. Yeah, the health issues, I guess, is my husband. Wow. You said in the eighth house relocating. That's what we're trying to do. And that was my question because we thought we sold our house. Various reasons, funding and stuff, it didn't go through. So it's still up for sale, but we're living in the mountains where it snows. So my question is, would you happen to know if the house is going to sell and we're going to be able to buy any kind of property for my son who built a Noah's Ark in a container to move, but he has no place to move it? There's
Okay.
just a lot of complications.
We actually have two questions here. The first thing I can tell you is, yes, this card came up. It's a 7 of Wands. It tells me you have the advantage here. You may not feel like it right now, but you do. And your dreams are going to come about. You just are going to need to be patient. The next question I ask is, will your house sell? And that is the Moon card, which says it will sell. The Moon could indicate maybe next month. But when I asked my guides, would it be by the end of the year? And they're giving me this card, which is interesting. This is the 7 of Pentacles reversed. And it says, it almost feels like the original buyer might still be looking for a means of getting money. Are they still in the hook?
Pardon?
Is the original buyer still in the picture?
No, not at all.
Interesting, because it looks like someone either who looked at it in the past or somebody who's been interested in it is going to keep looking at different ways of getting the financing or getting the money to be able to do it.
Okay.
I'm not thinking it's going to sell by the end of the year, though. I think it will be probably in the beginning of next year, maybe February or March. I wish it wasn't going to be so long a wait. And you wanted to know, is your son going to be able to buy property for uh, his menagerie that he's created? I'm getting a yes. Matter of fact, he can be pretty creative when, pardon me for saying this, but he's a little on the lazy side, and he doesn't usually perform until his back's against a wall. Okay, but when
Same
his
as my husband.
Yep. But when your son's back is against the wall, and it will be come the beginning of next year, he can come up with some really creative solutions, and he's a real people person. So he's going to be able to get some backing for what he wants to do. Okay, this is going to be interesting. And I don't think it's going to be, the backing's not you. I'm not looking at that. He's going to try that one first. I think you're going to be very surprised at the solution that he finds.
Okay.
Okay? Good luck to you, and thank you for your question. That was able to bring through a lot of information for all of the Geminis and Sagittarius and Virgos and Pisces who are also listening. Thank you.
Very much. Thank you.
And Lisa, who's our next person?
Our second victim for the night is going to be Georgina. Georgina, can you unmute?
Uh-oh, maybe she stepped away.
Nope, she just unmuted.
Hello.
Hello, Georgina.
Been a while. Like
Yeah,
last
it
week or
has. How
so.
are you?
No, I'm here. Hello. Hello.
Yeah. I'm here. I can hear you.
I'm sorry we're cutting out. This is what happens when you live on Green Acres. Okay, good. Yeah, I live on Green Acres, so if cut out, It's not my fault. I'm in Green Acres. I'm in the middle of nowhere. I have cows for neighbors. So
I think that's
in
beautiful.
any case,
What
I'm
do you
great.
live in?
I'm Libra,
What state is Green Acres
and
in?
I'm sorry.
What state are you in?
Oh, I'm in Madera, California.
Okay. And what's your sun sign?
California.
And thank you. And what is your sun sign?
I'm a Libra.
Uh-huh. Okay, so here you are in the sixth house here in this
I'm a
chart.
Libra, and I'm grateful. Yep, and I'm thankful for my daughter.
Mm-hmm. Okay,
Hello, you hear me?
so go ahead and mute your mic just for a
Okay,
moment.
yeah, I'm thankful for my daughter, and now the reason why I'm calling.
Georgina, I'm going to mute you just for a moment. Okay, and Lisa, if you're on her, go ahead and mute her, because otherwise I have to look for her. We're getting feedback from the mic. Okay, so we're going to mute your mic so I can talk about what's going on for Libra and Aries and Cancer and Capricorn. And then I will unmute the mic so that you can ask your specific question. Okay. Okay. I see health concerns here. I see concerns about your daughter, yes, because you've got the moon, which is a female close to you. I also see concerns about a male in your life. And folks, if you're a Libra, an Aries, a Cancer, or a Capricorn, what I'm saying here about Georgina's world is going to apply to you as well. So please listen closely. Okay, there's concern about a male energy, there's concern about a female energy, there's also concern about yourself. And that has to do with your everyday life and living circumstances, your everyday work environment, as well as your health. And that would be for you, for your male that's important to you, and also for that female energy, who in your case, Georgina, would be your daughter. Okay, so there's concern, and that could be about the health, your own health, their health. It can also be concern about pets and children connected to any one of you. Now, there's also an opposition here to Jupiter and Chiron in the 12th house, and that talks about please, 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 please trust your intuition right now. Follow that inner voice. Follow your, I like to use the technique that Abraham Hicks puts forth. Use your feeling nature in your body as an antenna to help to direct your behavior and your action so that you move progressively closer and closer by following what feels good to the path you're supposed to be on in life. Because if you're trusting your intuition, you're going to move in the right direction. If you're following what your inner self says, you're following your inner guidance. If you follow that inner guidance, you're going to move in the right direction, and you'll be able to handle what's going on for your daughter, for that woman in your life, for the men in your life, for your own self and your own work and your own day-to-day life situation. Also, please pay attention to your dreams, because you're going to be getting a lot of good information in your dreams. If you're not sleeping well, do whatever you need to do. Go to bed before you're tired. Take whatever you need to take, herbal teas before bed. But you need to get that good night's sleep to be able to call on that, dream precognition that you can easily get if you do get a good night's sleep. And you also will be able to be much more intuitive during the daytime. Now, we also have a T-square built in here to Pluto. Pluto, right up here on the midheaven in this chart, says if you're a Capricorn, a Cancer, a Libra, or an Aries, you almost are going to be feeling like life is out of your hands, like you're being just dragged along, and the world is unfolding. The new world for you is unfolding around you. And because the outlet to that T-square is the 4th house, which is your home and family, if you're a Capricorn, a Cancer, a Libra, or an Aries, your entire home and family structure is going to be in a lot of upheaval. There are going to be a lot of changes. You're going to be feeling like you are being forced to do a lot of things, whether you want to or not, even though they might have been pre-planned. Right now, you're going to feel forced because you're going to feel like it's out of your hands. And guess what? Your best course of action is going to be to go with the flow, to allow the flow and to look for the best opportunities as you're moving through this transition and change that's going on in your world. Okay, Georgina, I'm ready for you to unmute and ask your specific question. Lisa, I think you might have.
Okay, I've been giving myself angel readings quite a bit lately. I mean, for the last couple of years, actually. But as of I'm unmuted. Okay, but in any case, what happened was there's one card that keeps coming up is regarding meeting a twin flame, and it makes a distinction between a twin flame versus soulmate. So it's saying, you know, that I will meet a twin flame as opposed to a soulmate. Now, I'm a little concerned about this. I'm a little confused about this. Can you clarify this for me?
Okay, sure can. Okay, first of all, please understand that way back when I first started doing this kind of work myself, there was only one word, soulmate, and it was confusing enough. Okay, nowadays you can go on the internet and you can look up 20 different terms for people you've known in past lives in one way or another. Okay, so each person who tries to define them comes up with different meanings. So I'm going to tell you what my meanings are, and then you can determine if that makes sense to you, and you can go out on the internet and research it and find a whole bunch more meanings and come up with something that really fits your situation the best. Okay? Now that I've said that disclaimer, to me, a soulmate is somebody that you have been through so many, many lifetimes with that there is nothing new to pull out of that rabbit hat. Okay? You've been sister and brother, you've been husband, wife, you've married each other, you've killed each other, you've been men at arms together, you've been best friends, you've been the man, he's been the woman, he's been the man, you've been the woman, you've both been women, i.e., if there is a possible way, father, daughter, mother, son, if there is a possible way to relate to that person, you have spent many, 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 not just one, many, 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 many lifetimes involving yourself with that person in every way possible. So when you get involved with that person in this lifetime, obviously you recognize one another. When the soulmates are operating on a very high level and there's no expectation of one another, then what kicks in is this ability to fully understand and accept one another and say, okay, no matter who you are in this life, even if you're an axe murderer, I know your soul, so I can accept you in every way possible. Now, when soulmates get together, if they can relate on that high level, the energy that they can unleash for change and positive movement forward for themselves and everybody around them is absolutely amazing. Soulmates usually don't stay together because it's not really possible to sustain that high level of relating for most people. Most people, it drops back down to a normal human relationship, in which case you just have two people who really understand each other well, but who have all the same normal human problems as anybody else. That extra something that that creates this perfect world for them no longer exists if they drop it down. Now, that's my definition of soulmates. You're not going to find it written anywhere. That's Sandy's definition. Now, a twin flame, whole different animal. Twin flames are people who, it's like the souls have contracts coming in. They might or might not have known each other before, but in this lifetime, they both have an inner burning desire to achieve or accomplish a specific thing. And because they come together with this tremendous burning desire to achieve and create, when they both give 150% to that goal, whether that goal is having a family, getting a house, having a child, building a business, changing the world, they are able to bring so much energy to that goal that literally they set the world on fire, and they're capable together of accomplishing 50 times, 100 times what either one of them would have been able to do separately, because their dreams are so perfectly blended. So the twin flames, it's a dream that is connected, okay? Twin flames also usually don't spend their lives together. Twin flames usually come together, spend as much time as they need to achieve their purpose together, and then move on to whatever their own individual life paths are supposed to be. Now, that does not mean that soulmates or twin flames can't spend their lives together. They can. But either way, once that twin flame goal is accomplished, the relationship now drops down to a normal human being relationship with all of its ups and downs, and that extra special guidance and kind of energetic force that's carrying it forward will no longer be there once the dream is accomplished. Did I help you there a little bit, or is your understanding again different? Are you there, Georgina?
No, that actually makes me feel a little bit better.
Good.
Actually, because
Very good.
yeah, I'm here.
Okay. And I want to take a couple more callers, so we're going to
Yeah,
have to
it
move
makes me feel a
on.
little bit better because it's like I was worried that it's a twin flame similar to a soulmate, only to the nth degree.
Well,
Okay,
similar,
thank
but
you.
not without all the
That
different
was good.
lifetimes. I'm going to move on. I'm very grateful that you called in this evening. And that was a good topic for us to cover, because I suspect with the transits that are here in this Horary chart, we have a lot of people on the call tonight who had a similar question. So that was good. That was good. Thank you. And Lisa, who's next?
All right, our third victim for tonight is going to be Simone. Simone, can you unmute?
Yes. Hi,
Hello,
Sandy.
Simone. Hi there.
My name is Simone. I'm from New Jersey. I'm grateful for my daughters, my grandson, and my son-in-law. And I'm a Taurus.
Ah, and here you are. The ascendant in this chart is Taurus. So the first house is Taurus. North Node and Uranus are in Taurus. And you're probably looking at all of these opportunities and options like a kid in a candy store and saying, oh my God, it might mean I have to change. What am I going to do? The South Node is over here opposing that in the seventh house. And so there seems to be a very powerful, strong relationship in your life that is helping to give you a grounding and maybe direction. Um, there's another T-square here. Look, this is why this chart is so dynamic. It's like everyone's got so much going on right now. It's a dynamic chart. There's a T-square that ties into Saturn up here in the 10th house. It's, do I want to stay in the same career, or does my husband want to, or is it time to retire? Is it time to move? Is it time to, and you could be looking at him, you could be looking at you could be looking at someone in the family whose energy has an effect on yours. But the overall effect is I'm going to need to do some really looking at my family and my home situation, because if I really want to take advantage of these opportunities that are coming up in my life for me as an individual, the family life, the relationship life, the work life, it's all going to have to change and shift. And how's everybody going to deal with this? Okay. Um, because the planets involved here are Scorpio and Taurus, this axis, there's also a whole lot of concern about money and finance that you're going through right now as well. So you'll be looking at these opportunities around you and saying, well, is that financially a really good choice, a good decision? Is there going to be security if we make this move or this change that my husband or my partner or my friend wants to make? And there could be multiple issues around you, and that is really disturbing for you, because you're definitely somebody who's going to want to take care of one issue at a time. And I suspect that right now, you're like the kid with 10 fingers and 10 situations, and decisions have to be made about all of them. How am I doing?
Exactly.
And folks, if you're a Taurus, a Scorpio, an Aquarian, or a Leo, what I just said is what's going on for you. So guess what? You're in good company. You're sharing this dilemma with a lot of other people. Now, what's your specific question?
It's my question is, do your guides see me getting this villa? I'm in contract to buy something.
Yes.
Um,
Yeah, it's scary, isn't it? It's like I want it and I don't want it.
no, I definitely want it. I don't know, if I'm going to get it, where I'm going. Yeah,
Oh,
I'm in different directions.
yeah, exactly. But you're going to get it. Like I said, this card, this says you're imminently going to be finding out. The problem is that you're finding out about the villa at the same time you're finding out about, like, those 10 different other things. And it's the time of life where obviously you want what you want. Matter of fact, you want a lot of things, but you can't have them all. So you're going to have to make some choices. And the people around you are going to have to make some choices. And right now, because this Taurus, you're a Taurus, and this Taurus is right here in the first house, my friend, the choices you make, you need to make for yourself and let everything else fall into place. So somebody else might say, oh, but you could do this, or oh, you really need to live over there, or but you can't do your work so well in that. Guess what? You need to make the choice for you, not because of what somebody else is saying or suggesting. So go ahead and listen to them. It's never wrong to get more input, more information, but follow that inner voice, because ultimately the choice needs to be made by you, and everybody else's wants and desires will fall into place once you point the direction that that ship is going. Does that make sense to you?
Yes. Thank you.
You're on the right path. It's going to work out for you. Okay.
Thank you.
Good luck to you. And Lisa, who's our next person?
Victim number 4 is going to be Kim. Kim, can you unmute?
Yes. Can you hear me?
I can, loud and clear.
Hi. Thank you for picking me. I am, first name is Kim. I am in North Carolina. I'm grateful for my family, and my sun sign is Aquarius.
Okay, we're getting a really nice spectrum of people calling in from your sun signs. So Kim, here's Saturn up here in the 10th house. That's the house of career and your aspirations. And guess what? Most of the sun sign is here, but the last 7 degrees are in the Aquarian house, which I think is kind of neat since you are an Aquarian. With Saturn here right now, my friend, and you're a fixed sign, so all the things I said about the fixed signs just before affect you. But the fact that you are an Aquarian and Saturn's an Aquarius, you're really kind of feeling a little bit burdened by responsibility at work and at home. And it's, what can I say? This has maybe been going on for the last 6 or 8 months, and you're ready for some relief. And I wish I could say differently, but you're probably going to have another 1.5 years of that heavy responsibility, where you're feeling responsible for everyone, no matter where you look. You are getting that square to the house of relationship where the South Node is. So you've got people from the past returning into your life. You've got the same old situations coming up again that you really didn't want to have appear in your life, but here they are. They're popping back into your world, and you're saying, okay, more responsibility, more people expecting something from me again. And you also have this, which I think is very positive. Saturn is one ruler of Aquarius. It's in your sun sign, but the other ruler is Uranus, and it's squaring that. So that Uranus is going to bring opportunities, and there it is, only 5 degrees away from the North Node, which says good things are coming to you. It's going to bring these opportunities for you, but you're not going to be able to take them unless you learn to say no. So those people and situations from the past who keep asking you for the same old stuff, or popping up at all the wrong times and saying, you know, I have to come first, you're going to miss out on the things that are going to make your life delightful and wonderful if you don't learn to say no. So I'm seeing you learning to say no. Okay. And I think that is already happening. And while it's happening, you're finding a whole lot of resistance. You know, there's an interesting thing that happens when you stop being the old shoe that you've been for years. You know, you're not the old shoe anymore. You don't fit everybody the same way you used to. And that means that everybody else has to go out and buy a new pair of shoes. I don't know if I'm making sense to you.
Oh,
They don't
yes,
want
yes.
you to change. They get really upset when you change. Okay? And folks, if you're an Aquarian, a Scorpio, a Taurus, or a Leo, you are changing right now. And you're changing in ways that you have almost no control over, because this change it's been like my guides are showing me that little caterpillar coming out of the cocoon and this beautiful butterfly emerging. Now that caterpillar never knew it was really a butterfly, okay? And what's happening is, you've got 1.5 wings out right now, and you're saying, oh, what's this? Oh, I didn't know I had, oh, wow, look at that. You see, you're unfolding, you're becoming something new to not just everybody else, but to yourself too. You always knew that something special was in you to be born into a new period and a new time, but you kept doing what you were responsible to do. You were being responsible, you were fulfilling everybody else's need. And now you get to be the butterfly. And nobody's going to like it except you. But guess what? You are going to train them to like butterflies. Okay? You're in the process of doing it. And I think you're all going to have a better life experience with one another as a result of that. What's your specific question, Kim?
Oh, yes. My specific question is about my career in the future. I'm currently working as a nurse, but I moonlight in tarot, and I've got a growing tarot channel on YouTube. But I just wanted to know, I wanted to get eventually out of nursing. What would I be successful in doing tarot full time eventually?
What's interesting is that I think you need to look at the YouTube channel as a support system. You do, I'd like to say, my guides are saying this, using Facebook for FaceTime in addition to YouTube is going to be very helpful. You're going to need to do a website. And again, just so people can find you on there, you're going to be able to do, my guides are saying, in person. And I know that's, you're good in person, whether you like it or not, you are. You're really good in person. And so you're going to need to go around in different clubs and organizations that are in your area. You're going to need to see, you can see me on YouTube, you can see me on Facebook. I do these sessions so many times a month. But you can also get readings with me directly, because ultimately what's going to be able to supplement your income and eventually maybe replace that RN income is going to be that you're going to be a wonderful reader and counselor. And I've got to also mention something else. Your background in the health field is going to be tremendously helpful, because you're going to be attracting a whole lot of people who have health-related issues as your clients in your reading of your Torah. Okay, so I think you're going to have to make this a many-pronged attack to be able to do this, but you are definitely capable of doing it, and you certainly have the gift to do it, and you're going to be very successful.
Hey, thank you so much, Sandy. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. Think out of the box. It's what you're best at doing. You just never been allowed to do it. Okay. And I think I have time for another person, perhaps two, depending how fast I can go. Lisa, who's next?
Okay, the next person will be Melissa. Melissa, can you unmute yourself?
Hello, Melissa.
There you
Hello?
go.
Yeah, you are. I can hear you now.
Oh my goodness. I forgot what the questions were. My name's Melissa. I live in Northern California. the real northern, past San Francisco, like hours past San Francisco,
Yep,
in the wilderness. And I'm grateful for my family.
wonderful. And
Oh, and my sun sign is Gemini.
okay, another Gemini. I'm a Gemini too, folks. So welcome to the Geminis. Um, you heard what I said about the mutable signs earlier, the Geminis, Virgos, Pisces, and Sagittarians. The only thing that I want to add to what I was talking about earlier, because everything I said about that's going to be pertinent to you, is that my guides are telling me that you are waiting for something. Like the waiting is the wrong word. Anticipation is a better word. So it's like something is coming or happening, and it's something which is very exciting and happy to look forward to. But you're getting very impatient. Okay. So what is your specific question?
Am I still muted?
Nope, I can hear you.
Oh, okay. Well, I have a million because it's funny when you read for the first lady,
Hmm.
it said about relocation, and it could have meant a job
Hmm.
or a home, um, which there's definitely the possibility for both in my future.
Yep. And
Um,
it will be both. I can tell you that it's going to be both.
um, well, I guess today the question I came up with, because I just am so fascinated with the whole topic of psychic and guides and all that stuff. So I guess how many guides do I have? And if you know what their names are.
Oh, a lot. Hey, you're the gal who needs to see this one over here, the membership. You need to join that membership. Even if you don't do it to get the special gift, you need to join it because I've got a um, recording in there, a class on meeting your higher self. It's on audio. I've got another class on audio, meeting your guides. Okay. And right off the top, my guides say, oh, she's got 17 guides, which is interesting because we all have three major guides. We have our higher self, we have a protector guide, and we also have a life guide. All of us automatically have that. But when you really look deeply into the whole topic of being guides, I'm going to get into a class here, but how you're guided is almost like a pyramid. It's almost like set up like a corporation, you see? And you're on the bottom of that area. So here's you in the physical plane, and your higher self is just above you, and your guides are just above your higher self usually. But on all those other planes, okay, you have other guides. So people who passed can be your guide. A teacher you had in the fifth grade can be a guide. In fact, is. You also can have a grandmother. If you do have one who's a guide. So these are people that you've met who are guides, and you can have people on the other planes that you have not ever met in this lifetime, but you had connections to from other lifetimes who are helping you. It gets very convoluted. And since you have that interest, I'm going to suggest that you take that class because you want to know more about the whole hierarchy of guides. Okay. And there's another class I have in that. It's still in the VIP. It's on audio, so it's fully downloadable. It's called Seeing Beyond the Veil. And there are 4 classes in that audio series. And one of those classes, the whole 2.5 hours, is all about the hierarchy of the guides. Okay. So
Okay.
okay, so I gave you a couple of them, but you have a whole bunch more. And your life guide, it's interesting. You could almost think that he was your father, but he is not. But he has a fatherly energy to him, and you probably knew him way, 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 way back in a previous lifetime. I get an A connected to his name. And at some point in time, he was a warrior. And I don't, it's interesting. He's the life guide. He's not your protector guide. He's a life guide. And boy, is he well built. Nice guy. Hey, we're going to have a male guide. You should at least have a good looking one, and he is. And your protector guide is not letting me see. I feel it's feminine, female. She's not letting me see her. She's hiding herself from me, which is kind of interesting. So I'm feeling one of the functions she does for you is she helps you to hide, to stay out of
Wow.
trouble. Yeah,
I'm pretty good at doing that.
yeah, I think so. You get a lot of help with it. Okay, did
That's,
you have any last question? Otherwise, I want to see if I can put one more person in. We're a little bit after 10 already.
oh no, thank you so much.
You're welcome. And Lisa, let's see if I can put one more person in with a very quick question.
All righty, then the last person tonight would be Amy. Amy, can you unmute? Hello, Amy.
No, I think,
No,
yeah, she might have dropped off because I usually do end at 10.
yeah,
So,
she's here, but let me move down to the next person. Let's go with Stephanie. Stephanie, can you unmute?
I have unmuted. Hello.
hello, Stephanie.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good.
Thank you
Stephanie,
for taking my
where are you
call.
calling from?
Are you
Where?
there?
Yes, I am. Where are you? Where are you?
I am in Virginia, and
Ah,
my sign is a Libra, and I'm grateful for you taking the time, your personal time every month with these gifts that you have and sharing them with all of us.
well, thank you for thanking me because that was such an eloquent thank you. I don't think I've ever heard something so nice. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate you doing this.
And what's your specific question?
I wish it was specific. When you were talking earlier this evening, you were talking about a theme with people of needing to go with the flow. And with that being said, I'm conflicted between two questions that have been on my mind for months. And I don't know which one to ask. One involves conflict with an extended family member that I've been close with since childhood. And the other one involves my ailing father, who's been under hospice in my home since 2021, June 2021. So, in going with the flow, I'm going to ask you to give me insight on either one of those without a specific question, whichever one is standing out to you.
Well, the biggest thing, it's very frustrating, isn't it? But you really do have to go with the flow right now. You don't have a choice.
Right.
My guides are saying that the situation with the family member that you have the dispute going on with, that's not going to get resolved until the issue with your dad is resolved, which basically means his death. And dad is not going to die. You take such good care of him. He's not dying tomorrow. Okay. So
That's what hospice has said.
and when he does pass, it'll be from his heart. His heart will simply stop. And I'll tell you something, Dad is grateful to you. I don't know if he's able to tell that to you or not, but he is grateful to you. He knows what you are doing. He's happy to be able to still be with his family. Um, and when he goes, it's going to be linger, 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 and then gone. And it's not until after he's passed that the situation with the other, I don't know, friend, relative is going to get resolved. And isn't it interesting? The only thing I can share with you about that whole situation is that the miscommunications between you have gotten so, it's literally like garbage being piled on top and on top and on top and on top until the original issue is no longer even perceptible. There's all kinds of misunderstandings and miscommunications on top of it. So this is something which is going to have to sort of disintegrate itself, and it will do it if you're patient. Just it needs to fall apart before you can get back to the core issue, which was basically a misunderstanding.
Okay.
So guess what? Go with the
I have
flow.
to go with the flow.
Yeah, yeah. Frustrating, isn't it, when you want to put on your boxing gloves and get out there and duke it out, but that's only going to lead, in that particular circumstance, it's going to lead to more misunderstandings.
Right.
There's an old saying that you can't bring truth out of a lie. A lie is a lie is a lie. Okay, it's not ever going to the truth. And the problem is that not that you were lying or they were lying. The problem is that neither one of you got the message to begin with. And now there's been so much layered on top of it, it's not possible to get to the truth any longer until everything starts to fall apart and the initial misunderstanding is exposed.
Okay.
It's going to take time, but it
Yeah.
will eventually. I can't say it's ever going to be resolved. It will eventually end.
Okay. So the relationship probably won't be the same again.
Well, we can say that about everything. No relationship
Right.
is, nothing
Never.
stays.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think what you're saying is the relationship will never really be a good, close one again. And the answer to yes. There's been too much hurt there.
Okay.
Okay. There will be a relationship if you want one. Notice how I phrased that, though.
Yeah. Well, that's one of the things that's
Mm-hmm.
going on in my head as well, is whether or not I want to go there. I'm being called toxic and things, and there's a lot of family members that are not speaking to me right now, and it's very hurtful, especially when I'm here taking care of my father, and that's really where my focus is. It's not on this other baloney,
Right.
for
And
lack of a better word.
let me just share this with you and everybody else who's been kind enough to stay on the call right now. We live in a world at the moment. It won't stay this way forever. It's going to clear up. But we live in a world right now with so much tension and so much anxiety and so much fear and so much distrust and so many people in different areas of their life finding that what they believed in wasn't real, wasn't true. We live in a world where people are waking up to the fact that the life they thought they were living wasn't what they were living. The world they thought they were in wasn't the world that we exist in. Now, what does that do? Fear, this is why I talked about this reading on fear being so important. Fear, when it's undirected and totally diffused, has a way of turning into anger. And then that anger wants to be released at a known target. And you became the known target. And the more you tried to defend yourself and make excuses or explain, basically the more it was feeding into this, you know, basically a drama monster in the family. And the only way to fix it is to withdraw all the energy. And when you keep withdrawing the energy, eventually all of the misunderstandings get exposed and just fall apart, they disintegrate. It is the only way. It's unfortunate that you have to go through this, but it is the only solution.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay, I appreciate that.
And when it's all done, you will still have the loyalty of the family members that you need to have. And what you will have learned is who really loves and cares about you and what's most important in your own life.
Yeah, that's the lesson that I'm going through right now.
Yeah.
I'm realizing, and it takes something as difficult as having someone in your family dying to see who is family and who can't handle it, and who, it's amazing the people that step up. It's been such a blessing. The people that you would never expect, people that you thought were acquaintances that step
Yeah.
into play and become family. And then the people that you thought would be there, it's so disappointing. Yeah.
My heart goes out to you. I know it's a hard time, but it's also a time when you're being uplifted because you're discovering all the truth that's in your life as well.
Yes, I am. Thank you.
Okay?
Yep.
Good luck to you. And good luck to your family and your dad.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Folks, I want to thank all of you for being with me here this evening. Remember, anybody who has been patient enough to remain here with me until the end, of tonight's session. Please feel free, if you didn't get a reading tonight, to email me your question. Remember, I need your sun sign and either that or your birth date if you know that, if you don't know your sun sign, and the thing you're most grateful for right now in your life. Okay. I love you folks, and I'm so glad that we get to spend this time together each month. Thank you for joining me. And I'll see you next month on the 23rd of October, just before Halloween. Bye-bye.